as Bob said, my name's Curtis Martin. I was in the Army 65, 67, place called Vietnam, where I actually bought my first camera. Did not know how to use it. I was about to rotate back to the States. I ordered it from a little coupon in the Asian edition of Time magazine, which you may remember. But it came, I went to the PX, I bought several rolls of film, loaded it, shot it. Because my rotation back to the States was approaching, I did not put the film into the process. Take it, bring it back to home, which is, I'm from DC, just bring it back home and get it processed and go from there. I brought it back, got it processed, nothing came out. I didn't know how to load the camera. Read instructions, why do that? No one does that. So my sister said to me, why don't you take a class and get somebody to show you how to use the camera. That was my downfall. It was black and white and film, and the first time I saw a print come up in the tray in the darkroom, I liked that. Yeah, I really liked that. Buildings. Buildings don't talk back. Buildings don't have bad hair days. I liked photographing buildings. But no, seriously, that's really how I got started. And took a couple of classes at Corcoran School of Art downtown DC. I could not major in photography there at the time, so closest place was Baltimore. Went to Maryland Institute College of Art, where I met Marshall, also a Vietnam vet. We were in the Army not at the same time, and we met in art school, and we've known one another since. But that's really how I got into it. Just looking at light, looking at how light travels across a surface or through a surface.
I got a question.
Sure.
How long before you started making enough money that you could call it income?
Yesterday. No, all right, good question. Unlike Laura, I'm a franchise of one. I am it. If there's equipment to be repaired, I have to send it off. If there's marketing to be done, I have to figure out who am I going to market to. I have to dream up the marketing material, and actually I have two friends, and we collaborate, and we bounce ideas off of one another, and we kick the other one in the butt, saying, why haven't you done such and such? You said you were going to do it 2 months ago, and you still haven't done it. So, long story short, I'm freelance, I'm independent. It takes years, realistically, to establish yourself. I tried, pushed, marketed, pressed this one, and I discovered that because I was anxious and I am trying to sell them me, I was overselling. When I backed off, and the same person saw me 6 months later, a year and a half later, I had a different attitude. Work came along because I wasn't pressing so hard. It took me a long time to discover that, but it sunk in. 30 odd years ago, there was Ryland Homes. Okay, I shot a lot for Ryland Homes through a friend of mine. I came in as his assistant through a friend of mine who was an established photographer. When we went to school, you kind of dragged your next person. When I graduated, I grabbed somebody in the class behind me and said, hey, come here, you're going to be my assistant. They worked for free, they were happy. Yeah, so that's how it got started. And when I was shooting, I saw what was going on. I could then see their marketing material, and I then shot similar images to what they had. That grew out. From that, I was able to then approach model home builders, go into model homes and approach builders with the same marketing material that I had done for Ryland. Same product. Right? And that sort of branched out, and I got one or two others and branched out. And I realized, in about 2008, 2009, things were going along fine until the economy went to hell in a handbasket. all of my business had been primarily directed toward residential builders or residential interior designers. I had several interior designers close shop, walk away, and I go, oh crap, now what? So from that, I then branched out a little bit and went in, and I was able to, through an architect friend of mine, I was able to get into the market of more commercial building. I learned that in order for a residential builder to hire me, I would look in the Sunday paper at all the ads, all the builders, and I looked at the home prices and such, and I discovered that through a lot of working, it was pointless for me to approach a potential client whose homes didn't crack the $250,000 mark. If it was under that, they did not make enough profit to hire me. So I would only direct myself toward $250,000 and up. If you built a house that was $200,000, I'm not talking to you. You can't afford to hire me. And my prices were not that high, but they did not have enough margin there to do that. So I directed myself toward the higher end market. When I started shooting in the commercial market, I discovered something. These projects cost a hell of a lot more. I mean, a lot more. The American University job, if I can remember, probably was, well, I know it was over 100 million. There were four or five buildings that were put up. So my client, the builder, Whiting Turner,
Our competition.
I know, yeah. They had a policy. They would have to hire as their closeout, as each project manager closed out the project. If the project was $1 million or more, it was required that they have a professional photographer photograph the project. Built-in market. What did I do? Chase the hell out of them. Formal education, 4 years, Maryland Institute College of Art, Bachelor of Fine Arts. You don't need that. I told Mother I'd go to college, so I did. I was obedient. If you want to start in this or in any visual or photographic field, find somebody and become their assistant. That's how you work in. Work with 2 or 3 different people. You will see how my business practices differs from this one, differs from that one. You will also see what kind of market they work with. As I said when I started, buildings don't talk back. I do not do weddings. I do not do portraits. I do not do babies. All of my clients, my contract with them is they will have unlimited use of my material. I give that to them when I shoot the job. Okay. No, yes.
Equipment's very expensive. How do you start?
You save some money. I'm not trying to be facetious, because right now I've been talking to a friend of mine down in Tampa about going to Amsterdam in 2 months. Over the weekend I decided I need a new iPad, an iPad Pro. I shoot to my iPad now, the small iPad. I'm getting an iPad Pro. What that means is my camera's on a tripod like the video here, yeah. And when I push the button, when I shoot the image, it pops up on my iPad about 10, 15 seconds later, it's here on the iPad. The client and I can look at the iPad. We decide, okay, with digital, it's faster, it's quicker. Do I like digital? No, I'd rather shoot on film. Film is still sharper, film gives me better color. But everybody wants it yesterday. I looked at a job this morning on my way over here. It's in Silver Spring. If I shoot it, it's going to be in early April. And I will spend, this job is going to take about a day and a half to do. It's a new building, 6-story building in Silver Spring, interior, exterior. Take about a day and a half to do. I will shoot 400-500 images. These are going to be brackets of moving things around, lighter, darker. When I come back, load it all, pull it up on the screen, start editing. I'll edit that down to one shot, one usable shot per view. I will then send, give me 5 days, and I will send that off as a JPEG to the project manager through email, a small image that can be emailed. They'll look at it and say it's too light, it's too dark, too red, too blue, blah, 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 blah. I'll make the changes, send the second batch. If they say okay, I will then make large files, and the finished files are going to be somewhere in the range of pushing 100 megs final, and those will go through Dropbox. That's the delivery system. Yeah, that's it. And a month later, I get a notice in my email, a check has been deposited. And the job that I looked at this morning, I know I'm not the only one that's going to be bidding on that job. I know that. I have lost jobs because I bid too high. I have won jobs. Sometimes if I want the job, if I want that structure or that job in my portfolio, I'll underbid because I'll buy the job to have in my portfolio. Yeah, I'll do it. I underbid the aquarium because I wanted what I saw when I looked at it. When, you walk the job and you get an idea of, okay, how much time is this going to take? An assistant, how much lighting do I have to? I still light jobs. I don't rely on digital for pulling my buns out of the fire if the space is too dark. I carry lights with me. But there is bidding, and you have to price the job so that there is profit. And as you begin to do this, then you will begin to see certain jobs with certain clients. I want one figure that I quote everyone, but I know this company or this builder, it's too high. If I want the job, or if things have been a little slow, then I may go after that one. What I bring to the table is my eye. I see things differently. And I don't understand, when someone finally told me that, this was an instructor, I was taking a business class 10, 12 years ago. And he kept pointing and poking at me. He said, I'm a photographer. Okay, what about it? And he kept poking. I do architecture. And he kept poking it. What makes you different? And I didn't know, what he was trying to get out of me, what he was trying to say. But finally he said, it's your eye. That when you walk into a room, or when I see a building, I see it differently. And I see buildings. I look at what strikes me as how the light. Photography is I chase the light. When you look at these black and white photos, the photographer chases the light through an old abbey. You can only do that when the sun is there. If the sun isn't there, pack up and go home. If it's a cloudy day, I'm not shooting unless there's some really compelling reason for me to do that exterior on a cloudy day. The first thing I do when I get the address of a place, I want to know which way is it facing? North, south, east, west. Why? Sun is my chief lighting source. Do I have to be there in the morning or in the afternoon? And I look at the weather. If it's cloudy, if it's a 2-day job, I'm going to shoot the interiors on the cloudy day and hope that the sun comes out on the second day and do the exteriors at that time. But this is all trial and error.